Okay, hello everyone. So, welcome to our first lesson. So, this would be the introduction to programming. So, in this first topic, we are going to cover three things. Number one would be the computer system, the second one is the computer programming, and the third one is the programming language. Now, when we talk about programming, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to instruct our computer to do something for us. So before that, we need to understand how our computer operates so that we can know which part in the computer that we are trying to instruct. Okay, so for the first one, we are going to look at the computer systems. Now, our computer is actually consists of two things. Number one, it consists of hardware. The second one, it consists of software. Now, for the hardware, it can further divide it into two types. You can have input devices as well as the output devices. Now, if you see here, example of input devices is, for example, our keyboard. Our keyboard is an example of input devices where we key in things to interact with our computer. Example of output devices is, for example, a printer. So as a result of our interaction with the computer, you can print out something. So that is the output devices. Now, when we use input and output devices to interact with our computer, the one that process all of our requests is the software. Now, the main part of the software is the central processing unit. So our central processing unit is going to process whatever request that we tell our computers to do. Okay, for example, we tell our computers, say, okay, now open this file, open that audio. So things like that is being processed by our central processing unit. Now, our central processing unit, if you have a very good central processing unit with a very good speed, for example, your central processing unit is operating at 3 gigabits, 3 gigahertz. Okay, that means your central processing unit can process up to 3 billion requests in 1 second. So that is why I have here what next. Meaning to say that after your CPU carry out one request, then they will ask again, okay, now what next? What next do I have to do? Now, while your central processing unit is processing all these requests from us, okay, using the input and output device, they might need some information, okay, in order to attend to our request. Now, where do they get this information is from the main memory. Now, the main memory works as quick as central processing unit because they want to keep up with the central processing unit. Okay, so whatever information that central processing unit is going to be fed by the main memory. Okay, however, once we turn off our computer, the main memory no longer stores any information that has been done by the central processing unit. Okay, that when they work together, they might store some information, but once we turn off the computer, the information will be vanished. Now, if you need to store the information, then we are going to use the secondary memory. Okay, an example of secondary memory is like our external hard disk or our USB sticks, our pen drive. Those are secondary memory where we store information. However, this secondary memory, it doesn't work as fast as the main memory. Okay, it works a little bit slow. But it stores all the information, and if we turn off the computer, the information is still there. Right. Now, in the modern days, okay, sometimes we also stores our information at cloud. Okay, for example, you can store your information in your Google Drive. You can store information in Dropbox. So those information requires network for you to access the information. So that's why there's also a link between central processing unit in a network. Meaning to say, if there is a network, then the central processing unit can also access information at the cloud, provided that we have network. Okay, so I hope by now you will be able to understand what consists of a computer. So a computer can have two things. Number one, they can have hardware and software. So for hardware, we can have input and output devices. And for software, actually, I think I forgot to mention, we can have application software as well as system software. Okay, system software is, for example, the Windows 8 or Windows 10 or even Linux. That is an example of system software. Example of application software is, for example, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Adobe Photoshop. So any software that helps us with our work. So that is application software. Alright. So this is how the computer works. Okay, we need to understand how computer works because later on we are going to write instruction to instruct the central processing unit. That is what a programmer do. What they do is that a programmer, they write instruction to instruct the central processing unit. Okay, so for example, if as a programmer I want to ask the computer to do something, for example, to open an audio. Okay, so what I do first as a programmer is that I write what are the sequences that the computer needs to do. Because remember, a computer is a machine, so they have to work in steps, in very sequence and very clear steps. So first, as a programmer, what I do is that I write the algorithm. Okay, I write number one, as a computer, you have to do this. Number two, you have to do that. Okay, now once I have determined the steps that the computer has to take, this is not yet in a language that a computer can understand, but I just write the sequence of steps that a computer needs to do. Okay, that is called as algorithm. It consists of effective steps, okay, and that a computer has to follow in sequence. Now, that is in our native language, not even in a language that a computer can understand. Now, so when I want to convert this sequence of steps into language that a computer can understand, that is when I use programming language. Okay, so I have to convert all the steps that I have written into a language that a computer can understand, so I use programming language. Okay, there are many languages that a computer can understand. Okay, but some languages are new, some languages are high level, some languages are not so high level. So we are going to learn to write one of these languages. So a programming language contains some syntax, some rules, because syntax meaning to say that there are words that only computers can understand. Okay, next, once we have translated all the algorithms using a programming language that a computer can understand, then we can come up with a computer program. So for example, I want to write a software, an application software, for example, a Microsoft Word software, where using this software, a computer can help me to do instructions related to preparing a document. So after we set algorithms and we convert that, okay, using programming languages, then we can come up with a computer program. So a computer program is now a set of instruction that a computer can understand. So now we can go back doing things that we want a computer to do, which is, for example, open an audio, open a video, and so on. Okay, so next, in the next lesson, I'm going to explain what is computer program and programming languages.